How to draw an African American person. You'll want to start by drawing some extra white teeth, which I used to believe was an optical illusion because of their darker skin, until I got a black ski mask and my teeth were still yellow. Next, we'll draw his outfit, and make sure to have fun with this part as they take pride in their appearance. I'm going with a nice suit that says he's either getting some salmon at the Red Lobster or competing on Family Feud. And for his lady, I'm going with a fancy church hat, a beautiful sight to behold, unless of course you're sitting behind her. But if you are sitting close by, make sure you ask her for a purse candy that will be sure to have you saying, "I didn't know they still made these." I like to add some fun details like a bottle of lotion, because you can't have perfect teeth and moist skin, that's not fair. And for a finishing touch, I'm adding a low battery smoke detector, which they will ignore like it's a potluck casserole from the white lady that lets her cats on the counter.
When it was over, we got a phone call that there was going to be a rough cut of the film. You want to come see it? You know, I hadn't had great luck with movies up to that point, and I sure loved this part, and I loved this film, and I figured, you know, what'll be wrong with this one? And we're watching the movie, and somewhere at some point I just started weeping. I lost it. And my wife grabs my hand, and she's holding it, trying to get me not to make noise and humiliate myself and embarrass myself for God knows what reason Mandy's crying for now. And I composed myself, and then the screening was over. It was right near the end, just as it was over, I think, and I composed myself. And she looked at me confused, and she said, I remember this, she said, "What's the matter? What's wrong?" And I said to her, "I never dreamed I would get to be in a movie like this. I never have since, and I guess you're lucky in this life if you even get close to something like this." I couldn't understand.
Here's how the melody and one mysterious chord in Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead perfectly illustrates the story of the song. Hi, I'm Dave. I have a doctorate in music, and I also write and draw comics and graphic novels. My life is kind of weird. Let's dive into Fake Plastic Trees. The story starts on a happy major chord and a lyric about a green plastic watering can. If we focus on the melody, it has this really lovely leap up on fake plastic, and then on like the tick part of plastic and earth, it leaps back down an octave. Tick earth. A leap back down to earth. Remember that. When we look at the harmony in this section, the second chord is this mysterious, ambiguous chord. It's a chord that comes up again and again in Radiohead's music. For all of my chord nerds out there, it's a D major 9 chord with an F sharp in the bass. For those of you who aren't huge nerds, it's a chord that sounds happy and sad at the same time. Is it major? Is it minor? We can't tell. We might call it bittersweet, and we might call it confused, and it happens on a line about a fake Chinese rubber plant. We get a confused chord on a lyric about an artificial representation of reality. Remember that too. We're introduced to the first character in the song, the woman who bought the watering can and the fake plant to plant in the fake earth, and she's worn out. There's a chorus that tells us it wears her out. At the end of this wears her out section, the melody walks down and ends in an open place. It wears her out. That's how this character deals with being worn out. She does what needs to be done and just keeps on going. The second verse introduces the second character, the older man that she lives with. This guy used to be a plastic surgeon, and we get that mysterious chord again on the lyric. A cracked polystyrene man, an artificial representation of reality again. And again we get that confused chord on the lyric about him being a surgeon, making a plastic version of reality. Regarding the surgeries, we get that octave leap in the melody again. Gravity always wins. What goes up must come down, just like this melody. This dude's worn out too, but instead of leaving the door open gently like the woman did, he forces it to stay open as the song gets loud. He's unaccepting even though he can't stop what's next. The next phrase, the next verse, the loud verse. This one's sung in the first person, introducing our third character, the narrator who's been making these wry observations the whole time. There's that ambiguous, confused chord again. She looks like the real thing, she tastes like the real thing. Again representing unreality, the artificial. After all, you'd never assert that she tastes like the real thing if she was actually real, if she wasn't artificial. The melody climbs and falls again on fake plastic love. Of course, it's a failed love tumbling back to earth. When it climbs again, the narrator says, "I could blow through the ceiling if I just turn and run." For a second, it seems like he's gonna make it, floating on air, but the melody, of course, falls back down. He doesn't make it through the ceiling. The narrator's worn out too, and he ends the "Wears Me Out" melody with a simple walk down the scale and properly finishes the phrase, "Wears me out." The door's closed. What does it mean? Well, the narrator...
Hey, how's it going? My name's Badger, and what do you mean they're not real? They got real hands? Come on, let me close. They need to pet me. Everyone needs to pet me.
Bubba,
Come
they're
on.
literally
Okay.
fake skeletons.
Just okay, all right. Let's admit maybe they're not real, but I'm real. Excited to see them.
Bubba,
You know what I mean?
on.
Oh, come on. Just one chance. It could have been.
If you are ever wondering if somebody is bullshitting you, a simple heuristic that you can use is to count the number of Germanic versus Latin words that they are using. I stumbled upon a Twitter thread talking about this over a year ago, and I've not been able to stop thinking about it since. I had to understand the history. You see, English is an interesting case because it is a Germanic language, but over the last 1,000 years or so, it has absorbed so many Latin-derived words that they now account for over 60% of the total vocabulary. Germanic words, by contrast, make up only 25% of the total vocabulary, but they account for over 80% of the words that we use in day-to-day life. Germanic words are going to be ones like hello, horse, water, house, tree. Meanwhile, Latin-derived words are like reconciliation, veracity, cognizance, manipulation. So where did these Latin words come from? Well, in the 5th century AD, when the Anglo-Saxons came over from Denmark and northern Germany into the British Isles, they spoke a Western German dialect known as Old English. It was, of course, a fully formed language similar to the other Germanic dialects that were spoken in the area. English continued to evolve throughout the British Isles until 1066, when William the Conqueror, a Norman French, invaded England and brought with him his Norman French language, a Latin-derived language. For centuries after that, the French-speaking aristocracy ruled over the English-speaking commoners. The upper class spoke French and Latin, while the commoners and peasants spoke English. Over time, the English language as a whole absorbed these Latin-derived words, but only the ones that served the upper class. Words regarding bureaucracy, philosophy, law, rhetoric, high culture. But the peasant class already had every single word that they needed for everyday life. Fast forward to the Renaissance, and scholars all over Europe are now rediscovering classical texts in philosophy and science that are all written in Latin and Greek. And they started speaking in Latin and Greek terminology to sound more sophisticated, more learned. Fast forward to today, and it is still very much the same case in the English language. We can pretty much get away with using only Germanic words. It isn't until we want to sprinkle in a little philosophical jargon, maybe sound more clever or persuasive or impressive, that we switch to Latin. Almost anything that you want to say with Latin words can be said with Germanic ones, and if you can't, you're probably full of shit. Take the Latin-derived word misinformation, for example. You could easily just use the words lie or wrong, which are both Germanic-derived. But the word misinformation carries with it a sense of sophistication and superiority that those who enjoy using this word relish in. The word itself, however, is horseshit, which are both Germanic words, by the way. But what I find most fascinating is the fact that outside of bureaucracy or philosophy, nearly every single word in scientific or medical terminology is derived from Latin or Greek. But maybe that's just a coincidence. I'm kidding. Obviously, we can't just dismiss all of philosophy, science, or medicine because their language is Latinate. But it is a really great heuristic for spotting bullshit in your everyday conversations. Good luck trying to pull one over on anyone using purely Germanic words.
I'm so sorry, honey.
Aw, gonna cry?
I work with retards.
Isn't that a little politically, incorrect?
Oh, the hell with that. No one's gonna tell me who I can and can't work with.
Folks were told to stay off roadways unless absolutely, positively necessary.
I wanted donuts.
Is there anything you can't do, Faith?
See?
A few minutes later, the bear was spotted behind this home in Moreland Hills. This recreation identifies how witnesses say the bear escaped into the woods.
Even the babies are one of the most dangerous animals in the world, so I built this cage to keep them secure so there's no possible... Oh, my God.
Stop. Oh, I can't breathe. Hello and good evening. Happy Thursday. You have tuned in to Creative Chaos, the show where we love shining the spotlight on fascinating people creating fantastic things outside the mainstream, because we all know mainstream culture has really given it to us up the bum. I mean, if you're watching this show, you already know that. I don't need to explain any further. You guys, I'm so happy to be here tonight. Over the last few weeks, I've taken on a full-time job to help supplement Flip City Magazine because I love it so much. Look, I even have a little bit of dog hair on there. And this show would not be what it is without my wonderful co-host, the Batman. Let's bring him in because he's here.
Da-da-da-da-da. I'm here. I'm here.
I saw you.
I'm here.
I saw you backstage preparing. You're like, oh, this is how I'm going to come in. Like this.
Well, I'm too busy
Bruce?
looking at porn right now, so I don't know.
Oh, stop it. I was just going to show you. I mean, this is kind of pornographic because it's gross, but I'll still drink it. I'm drinking a big, giant 19-ounce IPA because it's 8%. And it was on sale. I'm a bargain hunter.
Yep, there you go.
All right. Hey, I wanted to say thank you real quick. Just thank you to Tank Ferret for popping in and dropping a like. Let's say hello to the chat since we're on it.
Real quick, I gotta say, yes, Woody M. It is a good way to prepare. Gotta go watch some porno and you're good to go. And Vulcan lives. Happy Thursday to you too. And I just wanted to shout out to Jesse Blaze's roommate, Digger Mesh. Yo, bro, we'll get you on the show soon enough. I know Jesse's out there getting ready to be brought into the show, but remember, we got to talk about the magazine first, right? Our magazine.
Yes.
No, it's not really mine. It's the colloquial Our magazine.
I love that you take ownership of it, though. You're responsible for what we publish now.
I said the colloquial way.
I did have to highlight the Christy Hart from Woody.
Yeah, of course you did.
I feel the love. I feel the love. Also, what is up to Stephen B? For pop, hello, and then of course, Vulcan Lives was popping in very early, as he always does. So good to see you out there, Vulcan, and I look forward to your illuminating chat throughout the night. All right, you guys. So, Creative Chaos wouldn't happen without Flip City Magazine. And as I said earlier, I started working full time again. So, like, putting this stream together has been a challenge. Like, it's the spinning plates and all that kind of stuff. It will get better. I didn't prepare a full, like, really cool promo for Flip City Magazine, but anybody that watches Creative Chaos knows that Flip City has our parodies only special edition funding right now on Fund My Comic. You can find that on Fund My Comic exclusively at fundmycomic.com/FlipCity27, or you can check us out at flipcitymag.com and find a bunch of our links there. browse our store. It's super cool. Go check it out. Flip City is rad. We're the new comic satire made for today. Wouldn't you say, Bruce?
Absolutely. And while you're out there, if you can do us a favor, Cosmic, throw up that bar. We would love for you to follow through and like, share, subscribe, ring that bell, and if you're unpilled, spin that red pill for us. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Cosmac. All right, very good.
Yeah, and I almost covered that awesome graphic with his own comments saying the IPA is more obscene than pornographic.
There you go.
I agree. But you know what it does? It loosens me up.
Well, I've thrown some pornographic stickers in our pilled chats for anybody who, wants to get it on. So there we go. Okay. Anyway, let's get into the show, shall we?
Let's get into the flippin' show because I'm super duper excited to have Jesse back on tonight because number one, he is an eclectic, multi-talented artist. And right now he is funding, as far as I know, it did close, but you can still go back it. And he is funding. Where's my notes? Okay, there they are. His current project which is a music project this time. Last time it was a comic project. It's called Solfeggio. It's a healing frequency rock music project of Jesse's, and it's an 11. It includes 11 rock songs tuned as medicine for the mind and soul. So let's learn a little bit about it with
wait.
trailer.
We have to ask him. We have to ask him. Is it solfaggio or solfeggio, as you said? I believe it's solfaggio.
Well, I actually watched the trailer, and we'll clear that up actually with this trailer. With this trailer, you keep interrupting, Bruce.
Well, damn
and then
it.
We're gonna.
Would you roll the trailer already?
And then we're gonna meet Jesse on the other side and ask him.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about frequency. Now, Albert Einstein once said, everything in life is vibration. And I think modern physics would agree. Matter is energy in motion, and sound is one of the most direct shapers of it. For thousands of years, Indian rishis tuned chants and instruments to natural harmonics, what we now would call sound healing, bringing mind and body together into balance using mathematical harmonic frequencies to do the job. You can do it with music too. Unfortunately, almost all commercial music is tuned to 440 hertz, a pitch spiritualists would tell you is out of tune with nature, and conspiracy theorists would tell you is the frequency Hitler used to control the masses. Whatever the case, finally, through the miracle of AI, I'm fighting for harmony with progressive pop rock music written and recorded in true harmonic frequencies like 432 hertz and the full solfeggio scale, with lyrics, melody, and frequency working together to help you heal and feel. Just remember, this isn't just background meditation music. This is more like something you might hear on modern radio, but with healing frequencies baked into its very core. Killer arrangements, memorable hooks, and science-backed vibrations. I'm Jesse Blaze Snyder. Dive deeper and feel the difference at our Kickstarter page now, with offers for exclusive tracks, signed things, limited edition records, and more. Plus, a longer video telling the story of how this all came to be. Anyway, I'll see you over there.
Well, Jesse, I'm happy you're seeing us over here.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you? I know one of our chat participants were saying that they had to leave for Dadland, and you were doing Dadland right before the show.
Lots of Dadland. Thursdays, my baby mama works, so I try to come over a little early before the weekend so I can usher them around everywhere and then feed them. And then, of course, if anything happens like out of the ordinary, like I was asked to do a voiceover and I don't have my microphone or anything, I'm just like thrown for a loop. The commuting dad not living home, it's not fun, but you do what you got to do for your babies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, congratulations on one, being a father in this day and age, and two, being a present father in this day and age.
I try. My kids make it easy.
I'm sorry to say, Jesse, you look so tired.
I am.
I wasn't going to say.
When I started this campaign, I got sick like immediately, and I think I had, or still maybe am recovering from pneumonia. And I have like
Yeah.
literally the entire campaign, I have been out on my feet. It's been like a really kind of major spiritual like lesson for me because I get like all of my pats on the back for myself in existing in like working and like getting things done, and I haven't been able to do anything. I like slept most of the first half of the campaign, and then I came out of it with like this terrible neck and shoulder pain, and my energy has just been super weirdo for just the past like couple weeks, and I'm just rolling with it, and and I just keep showing up and doing what I got to do. But oh man, yeah, I am not. I'm not my normal self. I'm like my faculties are not available, and
That
I just
that's
keep trying.
fascinating, Jesse. I don't know if you've gotten paranoid because you got so sick at this and been like, are they beaming me with like 5G radiation?
Honestly, I mean, I've had that experience already. Like so, like, but this was weird. Like, I mean, the sickness was weird because like I felt like I had a fever, but I didn't have a fever, and I mean, I definitely had something like maybe in my lungs or whatever, very very deep though. It was hard for me to even notice that it was there. So like woke up and was walking around feeling normal-ish, but like I can't put a sentence together. My ex-wife was like, I don't know, you seem flightier than usual, and I said, I am, I'm flightier than usual. I can't handle reality right now. So I'm amazed that we made our goal, and like, I mean, granted that was our smaller goal. I would have liked to have participated more to be able to like promote it better and get our number up a little bit. But my bestie Aaron Sparrow, who just did his Kneel Before Doomface campaign, he showed me that you could do the thing where you leave the door open, and like there's a slight like increase on price for some of the limited things. But basically, until I lock in the orders, which will be probably another month, the orders are going to stay open on this record, and it's really 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 fun what we did here. I did this for myself because I don't like chanting and om and all the boring spiritual music that you hear. And for years, I've just been going, man, I wish anybody would just give me some better option. And so when I started demoing some of my music using AI, which largely at first I just started to do because I wanted to record some of these songs I wrote for my children or my mom, and things that were inappropriate to bring into like a room for a session, but they were songs that meant something to me. So I started recording those, and I really started to go, wait a second, I can do all sorts of interesting things with the frequencies here. And I started making myself all these frequency music, and I was enjoying it and like really kind of meditating with some of them and getting a lot out of it. And at a certain point, I decided to release it. But when I released it, it seemed like a lot of people didn't really understand what I had released. So when I had this kind of push from some fans of mine that they wanted something physical, I said, all right, well then I'm going to make the sound healing record so I can go around and talk about frequency healing because I think it's a really big deal and people should understand it. And it's such a simple little change that we could make in our reality that would have amazing ramifications tomorrow. If every time you got in the elevator, the Muzak was 432, we'd just be walking around the world, lowering our heart rates and chilling ourselves out. And I think it's a worthy cause to champion. So I actually have a petition to all the major record labels to get them to change the tuning from 440, which is what is standard, to 432. and I've been promoting that and just kind of talking about this thing. But now, like I think the next record that I do is going to be even more interesting because like the stuff I'm working with now, I've got hidden layered frequency pulses that you can't hear, but they're there. I've got binaural beats mixed in for Schumann resonance and half Schumann resonance, which is the 0.32, which is kind of the root of reality. And then I have the lead vocals in a different place, the kick drum in a different place, the snare drum in a different place, and each one of them is touching a, you know, chakra opening, tone. So some of the stuff that I'm making right now, like I just have like a single playlist. I've been sending it around, testing it with people. It's very powerful medicine for
Okay.
meditation and stuff.
Yeah, and so basically, Jesse, real quick, you've talked about everything that I want to touch on tonight. And Bruce, it seems like you have a question, but I did kind of want to get into your segment so that then we can continue with the interview. Or do you want to ask a question first?
I did want to ask Jesse, are you familiar with the Rife machine? The RIFE machine.
Yeah, maybe remind me what that is.
Okay, so the Rife machine emits frequencies at an inaudible level through light ray tubes or through a metal plate. It's actually electricity at a certain frequency that's being introduced into your body, and it's being introduced into your body by either the metal plates on your feet or the ray tubes around your head or whatever part of the body you need to heal. And I actually own a Rife machine, and I own the booklet that tells you what frequency to change it to in order to be able to heal certain parts of your body individually.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but I feel like I had learned a little bit about that. I mean, a long time ago now. But yeah, I mean, frequency is everything, man. You want to transport yourself to Mars, it's going to be about tuning into the frequency. Frequency is all that there is, and the notion that I mean, there's a really simple picture that I keep showing to people. um, because people will go, oh, there's really no proof that 440 is any worse or any better than 430 and 432, and that's just something that some people think, but like it's not really proven. Like one, it is proven.
Yes.
And whether you want to go, oh, that's a small that's a small proof of like, small difference. A 5% reduction overall in people's fucking heart rate. That's a big deal.
Very
Especially
much
if it's consistent. If consistently, if we could do that for people, yeah, that would be a good thing, for us to be doing. And all you have to do, I can't find the stupid thing. Apparently I buried it with other photos. It's the main photo on our,
On the
I'll find
campaign, right? Of
Yeah.
the difference
Yeah.
of what was it? Water?
Yeah,
Water
so
on
so the frequency is in water, and one of them's the 440. And when you look at the 440, it's muddy as can be. It looks just like a just a muddy old smoky kind of whatever. Then you look at the 432, and it is a perfect sun shape. Just bing, 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 and I don't know if anybody's ever tuned an instrument before, but that's what you're looking for. The sun shape, not the
There's
you
a
get.
very good book out there called The Hidden Message in Water. I'm sure you know of it.
Yes,
Where
that one
That's
I've
amazing. I mean, I always stress that positive energy breeds positive action. So the more positive energy you put out in the world, the more positive energy you get back. And that's the same thing with your Solfeggio frequency, the 432. Like you said, it definitely has an effect on the human person. It affects them in many different ways and more positive than negative. Whereas 440 or 44, whatever the other frequency is, can be a little making people uneasy. making people
Yeah,
like,
the conspiracy theory is that this is what Goebbels, Hitler's propaganda minister, was using to keep the plebes in check. Is there truth to that? I don't care. Look at the two shapes. One of them is making a really nice, pretty noise, and the other one is not doing it so much. I was interested in this when I was a skeptic, atheist, teenager. I didn't become spiritual and like open to these woo-woo kind of concepts until I was, in my late 20s. But this always had merit as far as I was concerned. You look at the number 432, and it's an interesting number mathematically. You look at 440, it's not quite as interesting. The amount of numbers that could be put into the 432, including like 144, and just different numbers of significance. 432 had something about it, and the idea that some numbers would mean something. That essentially there were these inherent magic points, these kind of what do we call it, on a door frame, a hinge, these sort of hinge points in the numbers, where you could fold them and bend them together to kind of create these beautiful shape. And like, oh, here, and this guy is here, he's important because this number is the root of the circle and this number is the root of this. So all of the links into the 432, and whether you get into like religious stuff or just like the relation to the sun and the moon, there's a lot of very fundamental nature things about 432. So from a young age, I was like, yo, that's going to be my my secret weapon. These idiot, glam rockers and headbangers, they don't know what I know about frequency. I'm going to change the frequency, and I'm going to make music that's like better than all the music everybody's making. They're never going to know why it's better. But then when I became... I would say maybe even less than 10 years ago, like 8 years ago or something, I got turned on to the solfeggio scale and some other, sort of related frequencies. And what I started to realize was, wait a second, there's a toy box. It's not just play 432. It's I can use frequency as an additional layer to creation. When I'm making a song and I want something that's going to empower people, and I know that this frequency will do it. When I'm making a song and I want something to help people let go and release some, some negative energy or sadness or trauma or whatever, I'm like, I know this frequency is going to do the trick. When I'm writing a song that's just all about love, 428 is going to do the trick. There's a lot of different frequencies that can be utilized from like a full depth of understanding of what the frequency is, what it means, and the songwriting is able to ratchet up in terms of the depth of what's being made. And that was really what I tried to do too with this. Like, case in point, I don't tend to write a lot of very personal songs. I tend to kind of keep things universal, things that like it means something to me, but I don't like close any doors for it to mean something to somebody else. But there's a song I wrote about being on that show Rock the Cradle, and I had to record this song in these frequencies for this album because the frequency was all about healing trauma, and I had so much trauma from being on Rock the Cradle. I was like, oh man, I got to record that Rock the Cradle song in 396 hertz. So that song is recorded in 396 hertz because that was me trying to process the trauma that I felt in the experience. And, and there's just similar things all throughout the album where, I knew that the sort of medicine and energetic meaning of the frequencies, or the energy that it was most activating for, that it connected to various songs, in much deeper ways than I've ever been able to create things. Because you just come in and you go, oh, I wrote this song about this and it feels like this and let's do it. And and people are trying to find the right chords. Oh, is it major? Is it minor? Those are the simple things of trying to get to the feel of it. But the idea that you could literally just tune it straight to something that like feels right automatically like that. It's really cool. And a lot of the songs, I mean, I'm a good songwriter. I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back, but there's something that the frequencies bring to the music that, like, put my songwriting aside, it sounds nice. They sound nice. These frequencies really just, you enjoy hearing them. And then when you hear music produced outside of those frequencies, you definitely go, something kind of missing.
Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah, it
Bruce.
sounds like something's missing sometimes. It's like they're not hitting the right beat, and it throws off the song, and you don't want to listen to it again because it doesn't feel right. I get that. I get that very much. And it's funny because I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Well, yeah.
You gonna go, Christy? Go ahead.
Jesse, I was wondering, was there was there any do you have anything out where somebody can sample like one of the songs within your campaign?
Yeah, the whole record is out. You can listen to the whole thing. Like I said, I put it out through Spotify, iTunes. It's available everywhere. It's called Solfeggio Transmissions Volume 1. This record opens with 432 hertz, closes with 432 hertz, which is like the standard harmonic for this universe we're in. And then we do 9 tracks in the middle that span the entirety of the solfeggio scale. And I'm not actually sure about the pronunciation of the word, because largely a word that I'm reading for a very long time. But each of the solfeggio scales kind of a lot of them associate with different chakras, and they all have different things going on. And the whole record is just kind of built to the energetic healing capacities, meaningful capacity of what these frequencies are supposed to carry best. Whether it's love, like there's a song for my girl Julie on there that's from 28, which is a very popular one that you'll hear, or whatever else. And each one of them is just, really using the frequencies as an extra tool in an extra paint in the paint palette, I guess.
So my question to you on that is, do you list which frequency you use on each title?
Yeah. So my plan for the record, and if you go to iTunes or Spotify, literally every track is written, Rock the Cradle dash 396 hertz, Around Again dash 852 hertz. So this way, if anybody was looking for the frequencies, they would be able to find the songs through the frequencies.
And that is on your campaign as well, right? You have a whole list.
Yeah, so like the campaign is basically for like a just a collectible version of the record, but I also, like, there's an extra. There's a free greatest hits, and there's a free cover album of like some of my songs that I've been making over the years. But there's a what's called the Heart Record, and the Heart Record is the first songs that I was making when I was using the AI, which are music that I made for my kids and my mom. And I wrote these songs like 20 years ago. I've been singing them to them for years, and I was finally able to just kind of use the AI to bring them to life. So I'm putting all that together on a record, and I'm actually updating it with this complex tuning that I'm doing. Like I said, there's like sort of a cascade of different heart opening, pineal gland opening frequencies in the music. And in theory, it's like if you listen to it for like 10 minutes, you'll like have like an outer body experience. In theory, we'll see. Yes, we'll see. I'm like testing it now. I'm like, but
all right, sorry, opening my Spotify now.
I'm trying to get into my iTunes account.
Yeah. So Solfeggio Transmissions, it's there. Everybody can check it out. But if you want to get like some of these collectible things, like, and have a copy to put into your car and like
support support
CD,
a creator.
CD. I need a CD. Where can I go right now and buy a CD?
So if you go blackwhitedistrict.studio, it'll link you straight to the Kickstarter on the main page. And like I said, it's a little bit after the campaign has ended, but there's still like it's a slight increase in price because it's collectible things. So like the people who got it in time, We wanted to, you know, have them
one more time. Blacklightstudios.com.
No, it's
blacklightdistrict.studio.
One more time. Breaklight.
black.
Blacklight
Yeah, I have
District.
Blacklight. I'm sorry, Blacklight.
Blacklightdistrict.studio. Blacklightdistrict.studio. Yeah, that's our website, and like we have free. It's getting built kind of right now. It's like sort of like partially built, but because we're gonna have a lot of free music on there, a lot of free comics on there. Pretty much everything that we've done with Blacklight District Studios will be free on the website. King of Kings #1, Fucking for Our Future #1. The next book that we're working on. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze.
God bless you.
Thank God. I couldn't wait for Jesse to sneeze so that we couldn't like get interview questions in edgewise.
Oh my goodness.
But that was Jesse, just real quick. That was something the last time you were on, you were promoting Fucking for Our Future, which was a booby book. It had lots of boobies.
Yeah,
And
but unlike most movie books, it's not really like if people, you know, it's funny. I was very hurt, and my friend Wes from Thinking Critical, Wes like kind of like I guess he got like a little upset when he found out that King of Kings starred a Jesus who wasn't a good guy. And he was like, "You had me promoting your evil Jesus book," and I was like, "Well, that's not really fair." And then I'm like, "I'm doing this book, Fucking for Our Future," and he's like, "No porn books." And I said, "It's not a porn book; it's a comedy." But now after the fact, they've been talking about it over the past couple months, and it keeps getting brought up favorably on the channel. And I'm like, "Does this mean I can come back on and talk about my book now because it's not a porn book?"
I know. Well, I mean, that was the thing when I even had you on and I was researching your book way back in the day. I think it might have even been a year and a half now. Was, oh, look, it's another booby book. And then I look closer at it. I'm like, wait, this is satire. And then it was great having you on to explain, you know, why you did it.
It had to be done. You know, I really do believe that like there are these lines and space, you know, in the world for people to, you know, to play that generally speaking, you don't see people play because, oh no, oh no, that's where all the lines are. That's the area where, you know, we're gonna get ourselves in trouble. And I ultimately feel like if intellectual people don't play there, the lines and the place isn't carved out well, and instead you end up getting dunderheads going into the same space and just really making ugly things, you
You
know.
know, I have a follow up on that though. Like, are there very many intellectual people out there, especially if you're promoting on social media and the internet in general?
I mean, I do think they're there. I mean, you know what? In general, I think that we have been lulled into a propped up fantasy world. The idea of participating in social media is about quietly agreeing to what the overlords have asked us to do. These are the hoops that we have to jump through to get out social media, you know, blah, 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 blah. Hey, what's your social media like? Meanwhile, what's your social media do? Nothing. Your social media does nothing until
It feeds them information. Is
yeah,
what
and
it
it
does.
shows them that you're feeding your energy into their system. And so that's a thing of like, okay, well, you're jumping through the hoops we want you to jump through.
You're becoming part of the matrix.
Yeah. So, but this whole time, like for you know the past 15 years, you know, I've watched this very steady stream of like, well, this is what you must do in order to build an audience. But meanwhile, the only audience building is I got a TV show. Now all of a sudden, this company went to promote my Twitter directly to people because they thought it would help promote their TV show. All of a sudden, overnight, I went from 100,000 to 1,000,000 followers. You know, or I'm playing the algorithm game. Hashtag this, hashtag that. Oh, everybody's upset about COVID. So am I. Oh, everybody's not upset about COVID. So am I. Oh, everybody's upset. Oh, so am I. That's it. You know, it's either you're riding the wave of the what, and that means you are totally in participation in whatever the propaganda the CIA wants to say on TV, whatever else. So what does all that mean? It means ultimately that the only people really paying attention in the social media space and whatnot are the Chicken Littles of the world. Sky's falling. I gotta be where everybody is. This is where people are. You know, like, and honestly, that's been most people for a very long time, like myself too. You know, if I'm not on Twitter, then I don't exist. But that's not true.
You know, another follow up on that, Jesse, is if you weren't trying to promote your own stuff, do you think you would even use social media? Like, I know for sure I would not.
No, absolutely not. I mean, like, and it's got. I've thought about leaving it completely because it's kind of like a vestigial tale that I have of like from the time when I thought that this mattered, and you know, I was being told constantly that that mattered, and I was like investing energy in something that I didn't care for and I, you know, didn't enjoy. And meanwhile, you know, we've come to see basically more and more people have tuned out completely. They're just not participating anymore. And largely we're interacting with lots of bots. You
I
know,
think so.
So you've got like passionate people who like are trying to get in here and trying to participate with the reindeer games because, well, that's how I can get a platform and tell people about all the movies I like, or that's how I can get a platform. I can tell people about all the music that I like. That's how I can get a platform and I can be involved in this thing that I have love for. But instead, all of our love that we're putting ourselves on social media for in the first place gets taken by this civil war sort of bullshit, you know, like it just men versus women and races versus religions and oh my god, it's just it's exactly what they want for us to fight. And you know, if you're out there and you resisted the urge to fight this long, keep resisting it because there's way more of us in the fucking middle. And when these assholes on the edges are done, you know, when they start to realize that they're yelling and screaming and doing a dance for nobody. Nobody's watching. Nobody's listening to them. The ones who are, so many of them are there because they're stuck there because this is the system and they think this is the only thing they have. This is the only way to do it. You know, for me, for the most part, you know, my plan, and it hasn't been easy to just get this going completely, but my plan is to go out into the world and, you know, and just start getting a person at a time. And you know, and I like people, and I like to be able to interact with them, and I like to be able to show off my work. And you know, it's one thing to be on the internet posting some random pictures. It's another thing to be somewhere in person and you know doing things and having a good time. And you know, my dream for a long time has been to tour the comic conventions and do music on the weekends at night, and you know, comics during the day, and have a great time. So you know,
Or even doing like after parties at the conventions,
yeah,
playing
that's what I mean.
music. That would be rad.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. So, you know, if I can get that going, I really just feel like, you know, you can't beat that. And I really do think like most people are just they're done. You know, they're just done with the CIA fucking targeting them for every ad and just all the freaking fighting and, you know, a new reason every morning to hate your Aunt Petunia or whatever because of some stupid thing she posted online. It really has become this volatility point where, you know, people were allowed to misbehave for so long, like certain things became like this is what we do now. This is our thing.
Normalized. It became
Yeah,
normalized.
but I honestly do believe that there's like a shifting of personality because of the shame that has been brought to the various personalities who have been behaving so badly. You know, it's like 15 years ago, it was the Catholics coming up to me telling me I was going to hell, and so was my dad because he dressed as a woman. And fuck you guys, get out of here. That's not what we need. And we didn't need the liberals to become them on the other side of things. You're going to liberal hell, like oh my god, it's crazy. You know, we really we make no progress as long as we're fighting over things that you know are impassable objects.
Does
And
that not seem like it's by design?
I was just going to say,
there's no
100%.
There's no seam. It is by design. But I do believe that that the intellectual part of it, generally speaking, it's the intellectuals aren't online, the creative intellectuals are online because we have something that we want to do. We want to give to people. So we're trying to engage. We're trying to figure out how to fix this rigged system in favor of righteousness, And meanwhile, we're dealing with a system of fake righteousness running around, and everybody, the Republicans, the Democrats, it's like Trump is a fucking god, or the Democratic Party can do no wrong. Are we crazy? Like just
Yes.
some
As a society, we are crazy. 100%.
some semblance of middle, would be lovely.
One thing
But
I'm convinced of, though, Jesse, is you're not AI. And this is why I think I prefer live streams as a social media. Like, I'm like, okay, we get to like at least interface here. Like, I have the best fun on my live streams. I hate typing social media. Nope, nope, nope. I need to see you. I need to talk to you. And also, bonus if you tell me your real name. You know.
Yeah, I really do believe that is the currency of the future. Integrity and genuine realness. Especially just as it gets easier to be fake, it gets scarier to be real. Because there's so many people taking the easy path. It It is a thing, though, that I believe that is solvable. The illusion that like being on social media and getting a retweet, like I had more retweets than I ever have had for like anything on this campaign.
Oh,
They didn't
that's
go
pretty
anywhere.
good.
I was following every retweet. I'm like, let's see, did anybody comment? Did anybody like? It was like if I got 1 or 2 likes on a retweet, it was like woohoo, a successful one. I think I had like 1 out of 70 retweets or something like that on like the first day. 1 comment, and it was just like, ugh. What all of this effort and energy that I just spent to reach out to friends, to have people share this thing in the first place, for them to take their time to do it, and then to see that all of their efforts essentially went nowhere. You know what moved the needle just a little bit? My dad, D. Snyder. He posted on Twitter. He's not the
I
biggest Twitter
did
handle.
see that.
It moved the needle a little, not a lot. Like it's there is no like boom boom, because literally they are capturing the eyes. They've got everything under lock and key, because unless you are paying them, they don't want you to have any success with it. They want you to have to pay for every eyeball that is on your stuff. And I mean, I've got 13,000 people on my Facebook. When I post, 3 people see. 13,000 people, three likes, barely gets shown to anybody. It's been like that for years. I've been on Facebook, and I mean, part of it is because I'm shadow banned, because I don't post things that like this the algorithms like.
I was just going to ask you if you feel you're being shadow banned.
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, have you been following the lawsuit against YouTube for the shadow banning and for cutting people off YouTube? They've reinstated several accounts on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a huge lawsuit that was filed against them, and several people won.
Yeah, on social media, and like because I'm just always trying to bisect whatever the point is, and bring it to the center, and they would call me a conspiracy theorist. There's a word for that. It's called right. And and this is, I'm a high functioning autistic former atheist, skeptic, straight edge. I didn't do any drugs, drink any alcohol until I was 28 years old. I've done everything that I've ever done from an intellectual standpoint to better understand humanity, better interact with humanity. And oh boy, I have learned more than anybody would want to know. And I mean that. There is a certain point of too much knowledge is not awesome. For whatever reason, this was my my path. And but I mean, I've come out the bottom of the rabbit hole. I mean, I could answer any question, relatively speaking, about what is really going on here in this fucking nonsense, and it is a quagmire. And and it's really, it's very fucked up and very heavy, but then at the same time, the spiritual journey is to view it not like that in any way, shape, or form, and just know that you're safe despite the fact that it's a dangerous world we're living in. And it really is a weirdo place, and I'm trying to do what I can to change it. I didn't want to have any kids in this world until I could change the
Until
world.
you had kids. And
Well,
then you're like, I was wrong.
no,
Right? I
I didn't
I
want to
don't
have
know.
the
I
world.
kind of had that same thought until I had children. And I was like, I was wrong.
No, well, I love having them. I'm glad that they're here, but I just didn't want to bring children into the world the way it was. And my ex convinced me to bring children into the world before I had changed it into anything else. And now I feel like I'm running behind. Because I don't approve the idea that I have to explain to my children what's in the food they're eating, and then they go, "Why do they do that, Dad?" And I go, "Because we're living in an insane place, and I
Yeah,
haven't been able to do
but
enough about it."
you're raising that generation to know that. That is why we need
Well,
to
yeah,
have those kids. You
and why
know.
we need to have those conversations. I said when the Charlie Kirk thing happened, and the next day they announced who did it, and everybody started going, he's a Republican, he's a Democrat. And I said, you motherfuckers are so stupid. I'm like, this guy is shot in public on video. It slips through the algorithms. We all watch a man be murdered in front of our eyes for speaking. The next day they tell us that it's Lee Harvey Oswald, and you guys are fucking arguing over what political party he's a part of? Like, you don't think this is like the thing that's what they want here? I say, and if you just skip over the part where we say, bullshit, bullshit. We know that there's no simple answer to what the fuck just happened right here. That is how we change the world, by changing the way we have these conversations and not allowing people to just business as usual steamroll through the thing. I mean, like, it's all stupid. Like I want to talk about fucking comics and comics gate and non-comics gate, and like, are these people
No,
all
you
the time?
don't. We don't want to talk about Comicsgate and non-Comicsgate. That shit
I
is
love
boring
him.
as
He's
shit.
a really creative person, and at the same time, all I watch him do on Twitter is bait the plebes. All he does is just bait people, baiting people, baiting people. We got somebody like Miss Summers, and like, she's perfectly sweet and wonderful, but at the same time, there's a lot of grifting going on here, in how we're approaching all of these things. I am an artist. I've been in comics my entire life. I want to see this whole industry lifted up. And what I'm being offered for the future of comics from the Rippaverses, which seem to become some elitist I'm a better geek than you place, and some I'm a shittier geek than you Comicsgate bit, but fuck you anyway. And then the other people who are like, we don't even have an audience. All of our characters are gay. Like what the fuck? How is this my reality? That these are my options? Oh,
Okay,
assholes. And
Jesse,
like,
Jesse, I'm so sorry. Whoa, dude. Like, I literally want to get back to the positive and talk about your project and the frequency sound healing and all of that, because like literally anytime guests go down the Comicsgate rabbit hole, I'm like, no, no, it's such a waste of time. Stop.
no,
We have
but
to
it
stop.
has to be spoken about in a call a spade sort of way.
Oh no,
This is
I
a
know. No, I
This
know.
is a mess. There's
It is.
nothing to fucking value or worship here. It's disgusting. This has just fucking sidelined my industry with a bunch of meaningless shit. It's become sewage. Just fucking constant sewage. I was off of Twitter for 6 years. 3 years. I came back onto fucking Twitter for the campaign. it like ruined my life, like overnight. Like I just every time I would open it up, it would just be John Delarue, John's Longbox, the best guy ever. Okay, it's
Jesse,
one asshole
Jesse,
another assholing with other asshole. I don't understand it.
stop making me have to reel you back in. I'm gonna make Carrie do it. She says,
What,
"Excuse."
what
She
is
says,
gonna happen
"Excuse,
to this hockey?
Jesse." She says, "Excuse me, Christy. Brit down on Earth here. Does he have a campaign? I joined chat late. Sorry. He's so passionate,
Yes,
and he's
Carrie.
away with his thoughts. Thank
Well,
you, Carrie, for doing my job."
I'll say that. So my campaign right now is for these. It's modern music, but it's sound healing frequencies. So like, if you ever go to a sound healer and they hit the prongs, these are all those sound frequencies. And so the album is called Solfeggio Transmissions, and these are like collectible versions of them that I'm putting out. And part of this campaign is raising money for the next campaign that we're going to be doing, which is an anthology magazine. You mentioned earlier Digger Mesh. Digger's got a story in my anthology. Aaron's got a story in my anthology. Me and Steve Kirst have three really awesome stories in the thing, some of which we've been sitting on for like years. And it's really cool. After this, so it's the music, then it's the magazine, and then it's hemp plastic toys, which I'm really stoked about. I'm trying to get rid of friggin' petroleum based plastic and save the world one campaign at a time.
Replacing it with hemp toys.
Yeah, with hemp.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that. That's great.
we've been in
How have you
cahoots.
been able to process the hemp so far?
Well, we've been in cahoots with the sort of like the not what do you call it? Not the lobbyists, but sort of the people who are promoting advocacy for hemp in Washington and in Pennsylvania. So we got hooked up with some a company that has proprietary blends where they can basically solve any problem that previously was being dealt with as far as the hemp plastic was concerned. So we're doing this campaign where we're going to introduce these hemp goblins, who are sabotaging the oil industry to save the world. And they're like in the first wave, they're just going to be like molded sculpts, but like really nice packaging and whatnot.
Right, right,
But just
right.
a promotional item for the
Like a little
campaign.
desktop. Like a little desktop.
Yeah, and that's going to be the figurehead for a campaign, which will be all kind of standardized plastic toys. So
Are you
army
working?
dice
Yeah.
and bouncy balls and things like that.
Are you working with Digger on his Buddhas?
Yes, I mean,
Cool.
but really, I'm just helping my friend. But
Very
yes,
cool. No,
I'm
I love that because he told me
I'm
about that.
yeah, I'm
And we're
working
gonna
on a
have him.
song for him right now, actually.
Cool. Cool. I would love to see him do a movie to your music.
Oh, he's so talented. I mean, me and Digger are, I mean, we're like brothers. I mean, we really are. And he's
I didn't know
but
you guys were so tight.
oh yeah, I mean, really, we've just become tight in the past like 3 years. But I he was one of my idols. I was a really big fan of his. I
That's
was a
funny.
big.
I've known him 30 years.
Yeah. Well, I had met him I think like 5 years ago, and I just sort of said, you're the man. I'm a big fan. Nice to meet you. And then
Love his work.
our mutual friend uh, just basically said, you guys would be friends. And I went to see him, and I just gushed. I was like, dude, I respect the fuck out of you. You're one of my favorite creative people in toy. I'm a big toy guy, and he's one of the
So am
most
I.
brilliant actors, and he's really like some of my favorite toys that I've ever had in my hand. He made, from
His
that.
C3s were my favorite.
Oh, there's so much stuff that he's done over the years. He's really just brilliant. So yeah, so he's involved with the hemp plastic toys, and
Good.
to some degree, I'm like trying to pull him out of retirement, and and bring some of the like, because he's got like some little toy things that he would like to do, and I would like to do quite a bit more. So we're just in cahoots as far as like figuring out a lot of these things.
I
But
appreciate that. You guys are leapfrogging off of each other, which is great.
oh yeah, no, yeah, and the baby Buddhist thing's awesome. I got a song that I'm making for him, and he just set up at the house all the clay and whatnot to start sculpting all this
Yeah,
stuff. So it's super
he's
fun.
extremely talented. I love his work.
Absolutely, Digger Mesh is one of the most talented people on planet Earth, at least that I've come across.
And it's a shame he's not more recognized than he already is.
Yeah, you know, I think uh, I think that may change one day. One of the things that I'm working on too, but I mean, it's like so many things until like they get far enough along. But I want to do a retrospective on his career and Art Asylum. But as I keep telling him, I need photos. That's the biggest thing I need to actually think about a book. Like I need really good, high quality photos, and then from there I can start figuring out interviews and dialing in the stuff to do something. But I'm hoping in the next like 5 years that we'll do either an art asylum or Digger Mesh retrospective, and look, really he deserves it so
Yeah,
hard. I mean, really, just it's like when it comes to toy sculptors, it's like for the most, there's plenty of brilliant people, but for the most part, you're talking really like the big deal guys, fucking Digger and like Eric Treadaway. Treadaway's probably the fucking second coming of Leonardo da Vinci, but Digger is interesting just because he's so eclectic and diverse.
yeah,
Um,
very much so. Very much so.
and,
Yes.
and that he's been able to, beyond being brilliantly creative when it comes to his craft, also brilliantly creative when it comes to his promotion, when it comes to his design, when it comes to his branding. He is very very savvy, my friend is,
Yeah.
and I respect the hell out of him. It's really it's incredible. Digger, Aaron Sparrow. I, the people that I work with are some of the people that I respect more than anybody. I mean, like if you guys don't know Aaron, Aaron's one of his biggest claims to fame was he got to write one of the episodes of Young Justice. But that was because he's really good friends with Greg Weisman, because he's a very good editor, because he's really, really easy to work with. He's a wonderful human. And, and there's just nobody that I would rather be in cahoots with. And I've fucking worked for everybody. I've worked for Marvel, I've worked for DC, I've worked for Disney, Pixar, the Muppets, I've worked for Dynamite, I've worked with or around IDW, Archie, every other fucking little company under the sun. I've met everybody in the industry. And the only person who I've worked with that like just really just hands down blew me away with the care that they put into what they did and the people. The people is the difficult one. Most people don't put care into people. And I guess it's because they feel like they don't have any fucking power, so they don't bother to like look out for each other. But Aaron looks out for his people. And it's really, and it's so funny too, because there was a moment where the Whisper Network in comics were trying to cancel Aaron, but Aaron's squeaky fucking clean. He hires more women than anybody in comics that I know. And meanwhile, there was a group of women who just didn't like, because he wasn't liberal enough for them. They were trying to go after him for a second, and I said, Aaron, if these bitches try to come after you, I'm going to unload, because it's ridiculous. Like there are people who actually do the thing. Like the most amount of diversity that I have and all the people that I work with comes from Aaron Sparrow. We have a fucking rainbow coalition of people working on King of Kings, and it's all because of Aaron. All because of people that he chose. And that there are people in the industry who do this well, and they're not getting promoted. People like Aaron are having their bosses called by their previous boss because the previous boss doesn't want to see him succeed. Like that's the kind of crazy world we're living in.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there and you're a big mouthpiece for the liberal agenda or whatever, you're probably just doing that to fucking cover your ass, not because it's what's coming from your heart and your soul, and that's what you want to do, and that's what you do naturally. Actually, I said to Digger today, I said, the amazing thing about Aaron that I always really appreciated, I said, I'm not like remotely prejudiced at all, but if there's like a language barrier, or maybe sometimes if it's a girl, because like I don't like don't want them to get the wrong idea that I'm interested in their work or interested, whatever. Like sometimes I'll feel like stifled, but that's the kind of thing that creates a boys club, when like, oh, well, I just talked to the people that look like me because I felt a little more comfortable. And Aaron just everywhere I put him, just like, oh, here's my friend Carlos. Carlos doesn't speak a little, like he'll get in there and communicate and get that stuff going. And and never has had a creative person that I'm aware of leave upset because he was, because he's forthright and upfront. And it's just crazy to me that somebody like Aaron can exist, somebody like I can exist, somebody that you guys can exist. There are so many wonderful people in this space, and that the focus in this space are the most retarded people I have ever heard of. It's crazy.
Name names, Jesse. Who's the biggest retard?
Van Sciver knows I think he's retarded. I love him. He's one of my favorite artists. I've known him for years. He's been very nice to me. He's a wonderful guy. But at the same time, I've called him out on Twitter. I go, come on, man. Like, really? You know what you're doing. You're just like fucking with the bees.
I actually kind of feel that exact same way. It's like, you know what you're doing, but that, like, I can't get mad at Van Sciver at all because he's just doing the thing for social media.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just that's the thing to do now. But that's what has been created as the thing to do.
But it's sad. And I feel like it does like bring down the vibration very much and doesn't help. It does not help the little guys.
If Batman and Superman cannot figure out how to get along, what does that say about the future prospects for saving the universe? That's how I see it. Mark Waid is Superman and Ethan Van Sciver is Batman. And if these two dudes can't figure out how to fight crime together, even though they have a slightly different style, I mean, it's like, what are we doing here? I'm hoping in the future, like
I'm sorry, Tank. He's still fat in both places.
Yeah,
and
well,
that's my comment.
That's true. Well, I mean, Ethan's great. Ethan has been screwed by the industry. Shane's great. Shane has been screwed by the industry. Like, that shit's real. Chuck Dixon was screwed by the industry. There are real, genuine gripes. But of course, there's like, if we're going to create a new system, let's not create a new system with the same hazing in place that we had that was fucking up the old system. Like this sort of gatekeeping thing, like that was the problem. They gate kept you out. And then you were like, well, I'm going to set up my own gate. I'm like, no, that's stupid. You could be the open field, the person standing on the hill in the middle of the open field. And instead you're like, my gate is locked tighter than your gate. What is that? So, I honestly, I want to take, I'm going to try to get them to make up. I want to do like an article in the magazine where it's Ethan Van Sciver and Mark Waid, and I just want to ask them questions about all the shit that they love about the media and the art that they do and the things, and just have the two of their voices, just both of them talking about what they fucking love. No mention of any of this other shit. I guarantee you're going to go, these guys sounds like they're friends.
Hey, Jesse and Tank Ferret in chat gave me shit for not letting you cook. But like, I really, really want to talk a lot about like your current project and like poop on Comicsgate. Just like, I'm done with that. Because Carrie brought up a pertinent point. She did say the campaign page needs a music sample, and you have told people on this stream where to find music samples because you've released the full album digitally. But on the campaign page itself, do you have a link to that?
To the music on the campaign page itself? No. It's weird. We had a lot of like mixed energy. Like, some people were like, you should take the album down. I'm like, I already put the album out. And I'm like, and it's a collectible thing. I'm like, if people want to know whether or not I have credibility. There's plenty of music to hear, and even these albums. But at the same time, do we go, well, the album's free right here, go get off the thing, or do we not link
No, I get
directly to it?
that. Yeah.
So we were like, we ended up in sort of like, I don't know what to do. It's available. We'll tell people about it. We'll see how they figure it out.
I love how you got super Jewish at that last second.
Available. We'll tell people about it. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's funny. No, it's funny, the whole Comicsgate thing and everything, because it's not about trashing Comicsgate. For me, I'm an audience member, and I, as a creative person, I feel that I'm a member of the audience, and that I've always just been studying to know what the audience would like, and to know where to bring things that would really be satisfying for the people paying attention. And as a person who's like that, I don't sit here in my high tower and go, all you people doing comics, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care where you want to read your comics or what you want to do. Like, whatever it is, more power to you. But for me, the weird place where it's all come to, of this like gridlocking, constant, odd infighting, glib little insults to each other every 2 seconds. Like, when you get involved in some of these conversations, the glibness of people's just like quickness to be like, like, wow, the energy of the room has just so changed from a place of, oh, are you somebody who's taken time out of your life to study something that I love? Let's talk about that thing that I love. To, what way in which do you look at the thing that I love? It's, I don't. I don't get it, man.
I also do not get it, and I think the good majority of people do not get it. But
I think so.
as we've been talking a lot about social media tonight, and it makes my butthole pucker a little bit, and I want to stop. Yeah, do it again, Jesse. Do it again. Okay,
Yes, it does. It does.
because Jesse, I know what you've created is a very positive thing, right? And I can't keep you on track. You keep wanting to complain about social media. It does suck. Um,
You just,
so
you open
no,
that question. It's a
no,
loaded
no.
question. What do
Sorry,
we
sorry,
do?
Jesse. Sorry, Jesse. We're getting into mansplain right now. You're gonna mansplain a thing because here's the thing about Jesse. Nobody. Oh, okay. Bruce has something to show. Oh, he went back the campaign. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, brother.
That's super rad. All right, yeah,
I just went
totally,
for tier
totally worth
one.
correcting
I
me.
just went for tier one. I want the CD. I want to be able to stick it in my truck while I'm driving my fat ass down to Florida and listen to some good music.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I think you'll like it very much. And I'm really excited because right now I'm finishing the Hard album. And like I said, those were all the songs that I started with, which were all these songs for my kids and whatnot. And my son Cassidy, who very famously, whenever I would sing him his song, he would cover his ears and beg me to stop. I, I, I told him I'm releasing this. Okay. I told him I'm releasing this Hard album with the song that I wrote for your sister and your other sister and your brother Grayson. I'm like, you're going to be the only one who doesn't have their song on there. I'm like, because I haven't recorded it unless you want to record it. And he said, you can record it. And I was like, I can record it? So now I'm like, the pressure's on for me because I'm like,
Now you got to record it and get it on the album.
Every time I would sing it to him, he would go, ah! He would run away. It's this is like this little it's like a reggae song. It's like Cassidy West has it in his chest to be the best, so much better than the Cassidy West has it in his chest. And he'd be like, no.
That's really funny because I have an exact memory of my niece. Basically, my sister paid somebody to make a song for my niece, and it had her name in it, and she did exactly that. No, and she cried every single time.
Yeah. You know, I have a hard time hearing compliments, so I think it might be related to that.
All right, listen. 2 minutes ago, I tried getting into mansplain. We're getting into mansplain because I have a burning question, and this is where I finally get to ask you a question. So
Okay.
let's get into mansplain, and we'll go from there.
You know, when I first heard the word mansplain, I thought, this is great. I've always wanted to generalize an entire group of people and judge their every motive. But now, turns out, my brain is empty.
And that is why I have you here, Jesse. So here's the thing about you and anybody out there in the viewing audience that does not know what Jesse Blaze Snyder is like. He is a talker and a half. And it's also why I live having you on Creative Chaos, is because you can carry the entire show. I get to drink and smoke and like no, it's all taken care of. But I do have a question that came up super early in our stream because we're talking about um uh like vibration, music frequency, and all of that is involved with your campaign. And
Mm-hmm.
you brought up the Schumann resonance. And this could actually, the Schumann resonance could go on our conspiracy wheel, and I think I'll add it at a later date. But I think I would love for you to mansplain to me and the rest of the viewing audience what the hell is the Schumann resonance?
Um, well, it's just kind of like the background noise, almost the bass line. You know, like I said, if you wanted to travel across the cosmos, you would be tuning into some frequencies. So essentially, the frequency that you're tuning into in our reality would be the Schumann resonance, which I there's a lot of different numbers here because the Schumann resonance isn't exactly what it should be. It's being affected by lots of different things. Um, I would put the Schumann resonance at about 8.64, even though a lot of times
8.64 what?
8.64 hertz.
Okay.
Even though if you go into like look at the numbers, you probably find it somewhere in the sevens, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like our Schumann resonance is like ideal, right? Um, and as I've come to understand it, the the Schumann resonance for sort of like beyond our reality and baseline in our reality is 4.32. So it's 4.32, and then our Schumann resonance is double that. And then, but these are tones and frequencies that you don't hear. You know, you just feel them. It's interesting that you can follow different people who will talk about the Schumann resonance at various times and things that happens with the Schumann resonance. All human beings are affected by it. And when there are big disruptions in the Schumann resonance, it'll, you know, people going crazy, kind of full moon kind of thing. So, you know, occasionally I will find out, like I'll be feeling like crap, and then I'll find out that the Schumann resonance was doing some crazy things. Resonance.
Do you like do you check that regularly?
No, I don't check it regularly, but there's a few people that I follow who will share that information quite regularly. So occasionally I'll be surprised at the correlation. But like in the music that I'm doing right now, not in the record that we just made. The record that we just made, if it's 432, it's 432. If it's 528, it's 528. But this record that I'm making now, what I'm playing with now, there is a Schumann resonance binaural beat in one ear of 864, a half that 4.32 in the other ear.
That sounds like too much math for me, sir.
It's a lot of math. There's a lot of layered in tones, but I mean, like literally, it's just a whole bunch of different frequencies that all correspond and coalesce with one another mathematically to do a lot of effects. But some of that is including Schumann resonance and similar sort of tones in the music itself, because it just basically attunes, entrains you to your environment.
Whoa, that was a lot. Usually at the end of mansplain, I'm like, you've sufficiently mansplained. But Jesse, that involved a lot of math for me.
There's a lot of math. It could be worse. I'm not even naming all the math.
Try again.
Okay.
Slower.
All right. So right now I'm doing we're pitch tuning everything to 432, and then there's a bass of 4.32 hertz, but it's a sub bass that's less than 35 dB, so that you can only feel it. And then there's a carry.
You're throwing more numbers at me.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just going to make it worse. And then the kick is tuned to 34.56 hertz, and the snare is tuned to 69.12 hertz. And then all of the root notes on the bass are locked into 138.25 hertz. And then the lead vocals are 276.48 hertz, plus the binaural beats and everything. It's a lot, but I'm telling you, it's good.
Carrie, darling, in the chat, please tell me if you followed this shit. She thinks you're hot, by the way. All right. So Jesse, and I expected this for tonight. You did not sufficiently mansplain to me. It was too much math. But I know I threw a challenge at you.
You did.
All right? I did.
I'm not a Schumann resonance expert.
But you did give a good piece of advice at the beginning. There are people on the YouTubes that give good advice with the Schumann resonance, and of course, I've actually done a very similar thing where feel off, feel weird, and then I'm like, what can I blame it on? Not a white male, Schumann resonance.
I'm not.
And then I get happier because I'm like, oh, it's just the like cosmic fields being weird, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's how I understand it. All right, Jesse, I love that in your trailer you talk about the conspiracy saying the what was it, 440 hertz
440 Hitler
is Hitler, right? So
Goebbels.
and I already do know you a little bit. We don't keep in touch or anything, but like I kind of know the type of guy you are.
You know
So
me.
I'm making an assumption based on those things that you yourself are, like me, at least a little bit of conspiracy theorist. Would you say you are?
I do a podcast every Sunday now called Everything They Don't Want You to Know.
I love it too. I've tuned in multiple times. I don't comment much. I have social media anxiety for like all the reasons that you had previously stated. But here comes my favorite segment of the night. It is Creative Chaos's Conspiracy Corner, and I'm gonna put you through the ringer. Are you ready
Spin
for
that
it?
wheel. Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
I know what's in the box.
You can play the stinger now.
I wanna live with a conspiracy girl. I could be prepping the rest of my life with a conspiracy girl.
Those weren't even.
It took me a really long time to get that tinfoil.
That's
and
funny. That's how I
embarrassingly,
choose my girlfriend, the conspiracy girl.
oh yay! Which, by the way, major shout out to Dr. Clown. I've been using that song forever. I don't think I'll ever change it. Thank you for all the good work that you do in parody music on the conspiracy side of things. Love you, Dr. Clown. Mwah. All right. So, Jesse,
Yes.
we are now in Conspiracy Corner, and it comes with a wheel. I don't know if we had the wheel last time you came, but we're going to bring up the wheel and I shall explain how it works. And it's super fun. All right. So, I've got all these conspiracy topics on here. And Jesse, you get to spin it 3 times.
Okay.
All right. But here's how it goes, though. You spin it the first time. If you want to talk on that topic, that's what we're talking on. But if you don't want to, you get to spin it again. If you don't want to talk on that, we spin it a 3rd time, but you're stuck with that 3rd topic no matter what it is.
What? Not cool.
No, it's totally cool.
Okay, fine.
And it's why I love having talkers like you on and creative people like you are. So you understand how the wheel works, yes?
Okay, how do I pick?
You just tell Cosmic to spin the wheel.
All right, Cosmic, spin the wheel.
That's lame. Unless you want to talk on it.
Feminism.
Is it super cool? Probably not.
I mean, I could talk about feminism.
If you want to, or you can like kind of roll the dice for a better topic. Or Jesse, you can say like 2 sentences on it and then spin again.
Listen, this is the sad truth, man. The whole world is a scam against the bleeding hearts. So if you think there is an injustice that needs to be fixed, you think that there's an imbalance that needs to be brought to, balance, they're going to amplify you and ramp you up and get you to become a tool of what they want to see happen, which is they want to see the system destroyed. Because as long as this carefully, agreed upon system is being agreed upon, it's harder to rob us all and destroy the country.
All right, that was like 10 sentences. Do you want to stay with this?
I'm just saying. I just really want to say, feminism and every single one of these things is just a thing that is being focused upon and amplified in one way or another. It all starts as good things, and then they're just pushed past their prime and into places where they're no longer fun anymore. They're no longer good, and the thing they were meant to do is no longer the focus.
The way I think of it is like progressive, like being progressive has its place until you progress off a cliff.
Yeah. Or you progress yourself, like people don't understand, like really what fascism is when a group of people within the group decide, you know what, you're going to like it better when I make this change that you didn't agree to. We know what you need. We know how you're going to like it. And don't worry, you'll figure it out, to be on the right side of history. It's not a discussion. It's I think that my moral system is better than your moral system. And that's really the crux of the stupid debate that's been raging forever and finally coming to a head in America. But honestly, I think most of us we're just watching it play out.
All right. Hey, pause. And
feminism. What else we got?
In for Jesse.
Come on. Flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth.
I don't know. I think it might be on here. Dude, I really would like to hear your flat Earth rant. It's New Age versus religion.
Well, New Age, unfortunately, is a religion in and of itself because it's being led by brands, it's being led by industry. I honestly believe that half of the health foods that I go and find, they taste like poison to me. And I really believe that a lot of what is espoused in the New Age community is a lot of sort of like easy spirituality. The woo woo, everything feels nice, everything is nice, as opposed to any bit of like holding yourself accountable to to anything important. So,
Jesse, if I may interrupt you there for a second, you brought up the woo woo. I love using the term woo woo. Like you yourself as a woo woo person, but also I think being somewhat rational. Like, what is the difference? Like, how do you identify that?
well, at the end of the day, where I've come to, I'm not a religious person. I believe in the Hermetic principles. What are the Hermetic principles? Well, the Hermetic principles are the basic explanation to what paradigms would exist within a mind. Okay? So if everything comes from nothing, that means there's a fundamental part of us that is inert, that is, it is asleep, right? We go to sleep and then we wake up. We go to sleep and we wake up. We're in this pattern. That's a polarity. We're a sleeping being, we're a woken being. We're a sleeping being, we're a woke being. Left, right, back, forth. These are rhythms, these are polarities. These are all of the universal laws and the Hermetic principles, correspondence, the laws of rhythms, the laws of gender. When it comes to something as simple as gender, because we haven't been properly explained what gender really is, which is just two energies, and both, everybody has both of them. And the energies could like be boiled down to an idea of preservation and appreciation for things as they are, and preservation and appreciation, but maybe it could be even better if we made this change. So the feminine energy wants to improve upon the thing that they love, and the male energy wants to maintain the thing that they love. We're going to protect this. We're going to keep this just like it is, right? Those two energies are universal. Everybody has them, and you need to look at not whether or not somebody has feminine energy to know whether or not that person's gay or straight or trans. I have tons of feminine energy. I've always been more feminine a man. I had people my whole life thought I was gay. You're gay, aren't you? I knew you. Of course you're gay. Like, no, I'm not gay. But there are people in this world who become gay because everybody told them they were gay. And because they didn't know that a feminine energy could be found in a male body. Meanwhile, every girlfriend I've ever had is awesome, ass-kicking, slightly masculine, energetically, women, because I'm slightly feminine. So, the balanced energy that I'm looking for is somebody who's countering my own energy. So I really think that people just fundamentally don't understand the nature of our reality, the nature of energy, the nature of thought, the nature of concept. We are all a concept living itself out, experiencing itself in very many different arrangements. And, if we just start to really kind of get to a more fundamental understanding of things and not this really petty, superficial one that we have, but just start really understanding, well, if this concept that thinks it's a god meets up against this concept that thinks it's a god, and this concept that thinks it's a god wants the music loud, and this concept that thinks it's a god wants the music low, then they're like, nah, I don't get to be God because you're being God. Nah. Which is really, we're battling. There's a giant battle of wills going on between the consciousness right now. Oh, I have to take this emergency phone call. 1 second for me.
Oh, emergency phone call. And I see my lovely co-host who is supposed to help me with these things.
I'm right here. I'm right here. I can handle this. So I really
I like
appreciate.
I said, "Oh no, Jesse's leaving."
Is it possible for us to wrap up? I got to go pick up my baby mama and get her
It
for.
it absolutely is possible for us to wrap up tonight. Bruce, did you have a burning question before he leaves?
Yes, one, well, not a question, but a statement for Jesse, who's in the middle of talking to his daughter. But that's okay. We'll catch up with that. Jesse, please tell Digger to call me. I want to get him together with him because I got to get him on my show, Three Beer Men, which is every Sunday night from 7 to 9 p.m. And we'd love to have you on the show, brother, especially
Oh, man.
talking about this Safazio because we'll touch on your music. We're not going to talk about the comics so much, although we can. I want you to expound more on the solfeggio and how you fold the other music into it at different frequencies to generate the feeling that you do with your music. And I want to talk more about how you want to change the music industry because, brother, that is an uphill battle because you're going down into hell to come out to bring it up to heaven.
It is, but in my mind, it's really just a matter of being able to consistently get out and play. And that's been the one thing that I really haven't been able to do over the years because I got married young and I had kids. And, I'm finally ready to go on the road and do whatever I have to do to just get myself out there. So, it's all going to come together. And, it's been a very long spiritual journey to get to this place. I think I'm in the best place I've ever been. Creatively, I'm in a great place. And, I'm not in a rush. Happy to
All
get
right.
there.
You
No, I
guys
love
go
it.
check out Jesse's project. It is in the description of the video and also it dropped in the chat. Jesse, I really do want to let you go. And I'm keeping you, Bruce, though, because me and you are doing another spin on that freaking wheel for the rest of the night.
All right, I can do that. All
Jesse,
right, Jesse, God bless, brother.
you're
Be well.
wonderful. Thank you for coming on
Well,
tonight.
thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Sorry to run out on you guys.
That's
Love.
fine.
Good luck
Have a
with
Take care of
the
those
baby mama.
kids.
Ciao,
Thank you.
brother.
And thanks for buying one of our CDs, supporting the project. We really appreciate it. Thank to everybody who supports the project.
Absolutely.
I would like to see the world improve. I think we can do a little better than this.
Amen. Amen.
See you later.
God bless, brother.
Bye, Jesse.
Bye.
Hey, here's the thing,
Go up to
Bruce.
your, yeah, I was going to say, tell him to go up to his name and click
Yeah.
on that arrow, the down arrow. But he's out. He's out. Okay.
It's we have the wonderful, lovely producer, Cosmic Grandpa, that we both love so much. And I'm kind of excited to do this because number one, I did not do a branded segment for Jesse, so I was planning on an extended conspiracy wheel, and me and you have not had much time with our conspiracy wheel, and I'm hoping you'd love to take a spin or two. So
Absolutely.
we haven't done this in at least a year.
Why haven't you asked me sooner?
Well, because it didn't happen. It didn't happen. All right,
Spin
here's
that
me and you,
wheel,
Bruce.
Cosmac.
You know the rules.
Spin the wheel, Cosmac.
It just says Antarctica. That's all it says.
I'm not comfortable with that topic.
All right, spin it again then.
One more time.
Oh, Project Mockingbird. I know you know all about that.
I do, very much actually.
Now, same thing. Do you want to say a couple of sentences and then spin again, or
I don't
do you
know.
want to talk on this?
Let's see where I go.
See where you go. What?
I'm gonna riff it a little bit right now because I know a lot about Mockingbird, and Mockingbird came from many different areas, but basically Mockingbird is MK Ultra to the masses by using the mass media. Everybody's seen the video of all of these different newscast stations from around the United States, all saying the exact same words over and
Well,
over and over again.
yeah, it's that meme, of
It's
this
not a
is
meme. Well,
very
it is a meme, but
this is
it's
very dangerous to our democracy. Is that what you're
correct.
talking about? Yeah.
Yes,
That is
yes.
a meme.
So it is a meme, but it's real. It really happened. All of
Well,
these different news stations across the United States all said the exact same phrase on their broadcasts because they're all following the script, if you will. The
well,
script that's being
well,
put out
hold on.
by the 13 families, the Illuminati, the bosses, the elitists, or as I like to call them, the deletists, because they're trying to delete us.
I've never heard that before. The deletists.
They're deletists. They want to delete us. And the
All
leader
right.
of the pack is none other than Bill Gates himself. And that motherfucker is changing his tune. But people need to remember that motherfucker owns 75% of the farmlands in the United States right now.
Wait,
Because he brought it up.
has he started his program of like dropping mosquitoes on us yet?
I'm sure, well, he talked about it, but I'm sure he's already done it. Yes. I'm sure it's out there already. But that's a whole different, that's a whole different,
That is
on the
true.
wheel.
What was the topic again? Oh yeah, Mockingbird Media.
Mockingbird Media.
Yeah.
So, way back in the day, the CIA used the 60s hippies movement to control the masses, or to try and control the masses.
With LSD.
Not just LSD, but with programming.
Which I
And
like.
programming us with something Jesse discussed: frequencies in music. Weird
Okay.
scenes inside the canyon.
Oh, you love that book.
Oh, I love that book because it's seriously legit shit, and it explains a lot, man. It really goes into detail
I'm gonna
about a
make
lot of shit.
I'm actually gonna make AI like scrub all of the creative chaoses to see how many times you've brought up that freaking book. Like weird scenes in the canyon. There
Inside the canyon, weird scenes inside the canyon.
Well, what's funny is I know Scott has read a similar book, but I don't think it's that title. But
Okay.
I think it covers all the same topics, which is basically from what I know, and I'm going to feed this back to you, and you can correct me where I'm wrong. Is going into like Laurel Canyon in Los Angeles, right? And the hippie movement scene and everything that was going on there, and all those musicians connections to government officials, basically, right?
Their parents were in the military, and they used their own children for the hippie movement in America. Frank Zappa, James Morrison,
See,
others,
Frank Zappa's the
Crosby,
one I
Stills, Nash and Young.
Frank Zappa's the one I have a hard time with. I think the hardest time with.
Why?
Because he's been so outspoken against basically the control network, or
Well,
was.
he was, because
Yeah,
he's dead now.
I did
But
say
even,
has.
but even that, I wonder if they took him out because he started getting tired of being part of the system.
I think. Oh, oh,
He had a heart attack at a very early age.
I fucking love Frank Zappa.
So did I. I have a lot of his stuff.
Which by the way, because you love going and seeing live music, and I do as well when
Yeah.
I have the opportunity.
Right.
There is a fantastic West Coast Zappa cover band called orchestra. So anybody on the West Coast, check them out. Like, free plug. Love the shit out of them. They tour with ex Zappa musicians. One of them, one
I've
of
heard
them,
of Stinkfoot. I've heard of Stinkfoot.
I've seen. Well, probably because of me.
No, I've heard of them outside of you because they are a Frank Zappa cover band, and I'm a Zappa fan.
And they're fantastic. They do a wonderful job.
But they don't come to they don't come to the East Coast.
Napoleon Brock Murphy, I've seen him play with them at least 4 times. And something fun that they do at their show is they throw out tiny rubber chickens like that you can fling at them, right? And so I picked one up one night and flung it at them, and I hit Napoleon right in the balls. And Scott laughed his ass off, just like you did. He's like, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, baby, here's what I do live. Here's how I enjoy the show.
That's funny.
Anyway, oh yeah, Mockingbird Media.
So yeah, you know who's one of the biggest people in Mockingbird Media because of his family? He is a CIA operative all the way through and through. Allegedly, he is a CIA operative through and through.
Don Lemon? I don't know who.
No, Don Lemon's a pussy. He doesn't like pussies, but he is a pussy.
All right. Spoiler alert. Tell us.
What was I going to tell you?
All right. By the way, for anybody that didn't know,
Anderson Cooper.
20 milligrams of THC. This guy over here.
I got a new tincture and new sodas that have THC in them. And they kicked in pretty good.
You're like, what was I talking about? I'm like,
so yeah.
Listen, I've had about like 30 ounces of this disgusting IPA that gets me drunk. So.
Are you drunk?
No, I'm not. Am I?
Oh, no. Are you?
Do I seem drunk?
You seem to be your annoying usual self.
I was about to say that about you.
Okay,
anyway, so Mockingbird Media, it basically is, I like when I think of Mockingbird Media, it is that meme of like the line, the media, the 2-sentence line that the media has been given that ends in, and this is very dangerous to our democracy. Like that is what like codifies it for me.
Absolutely. 100%. So I was referring to none other than Kathy Griffin's older brother, because younger brother, because Kathy Griffin, as we all know, is actually really Gloria Vanderbilt's son, Andrew, who had a sex change operation way back in the day when he was a teenager, and supposedly he committed suicide.
I don't know why I'm smiling so big. Like, this is terrible, but it's also very hilarious for a conspiracy.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Head.
So Kathy Griffin is really Anderson Cooper's brother, and there's some evidence to show that Gloria Vanderbilt had a trip that she took supposedly by herself, but it was with her son, Andrew, I think was his name, just before he committed suicide, and took him to one of these doctors in one of these Dominican or South American countries where they did that type of surgery before it was really allowed to be done. If anybody's ever watched the TV series Nip Tuck, you know what I'm talking about because they go down to Mexico and get that shit done by
And go
crazy
down
ass
to
doctors, and you
Mexico,
don't
if
know
you know
what they're.
what I mean.
Yeah,
Down south. Gross.
yeah. So
Listen, you have to help me decipher this. Okay?
go ahead.
All right. Woody says, I couldn't get it off last night. A week went by, and now it's July. I finally got it off, and my girlfriend cried, You stinkfoot! It's like, what the fuck, Woody, you weirdo? Is he not a weirdo?
He must be referring to his socks. It was
That's
kind of
Frank
like a riddle.
Zappa lyrics, guys.
Oh, it's
No.
Zappa lyrics. Stinkfoot.
Constantly.
Yeah.
I was doing a bit.
Okay.
I kid. I didn't know what I didn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, Cosmac, for explaining that because I'm trying to. It just wasn't clicking.
Cosmic, just play another mansplain segment, Stinger.
Why?
So I know that he was mansplaining to me.
Oh, that I was mansplaining to you?
No.
You know, when I first heard the word mansplain, I thought, this is great. I've always wanted to generalize an entire group of people and judge their every motive. But now, turns out, my brain is empty.
Thank you, Cosmic. That's all I needed. Like, before he popped into it, mansplain. That's all I needed. And then I wouldn't have had a hissy fit.
So,
as us women do.
Cosmac, from now on, if you want to mansplain to her, you got to run that segment before you pop in and say, "Hey, Christy, by the way, that was that was a tune by Zappa, and it was a song Zappa did."
I get
Thank you.
scared. Well, basically, I get a little bit scared when Cosmic pops out of nowhere. So, like, he really does have to play a stinger, and I'm like, oh, thank God. It's Cosmic.
Okay. So we're
Anyway,
gonna spin that wheel one more time.
Oh, you want to?
What the fuck?
I was gonna take this off, but you want to mansplain conspiracy to me?
Spin the wheel one more time.
Let's do that. Let's do it. All right.
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
What's the rule, Bruce? Are we sticking with it no matter what, or are we starting from scratch?
Oh, I know about both.
Okay. But it seems boring.
The Federal Reserve is a racket. It was created by a group of de-elitists who want to have a free way to print money and then make you pay them
interest.
Right, and then have you pay them the interest on the money you borrow from them, which is fake money to begin with because it was just printed up for shits and giggles. And if you store your money in a bank, I did wonder where Third Voice came from. Oh, yes. Third Voice, Gary, was Cosmic Grandpa, our dear producer, who hides behind his curtain as the Wizard of Oz.
And whom I love so much.
We wouldn't be able to do the show without him.
Dude, seriously? Bruce, if I cannot brag enough, I fucking love Cosmic Grandpa. Like, he sent me a text today saying, you didn't do this and that. And I'm like, oh, god damn it, I'm a fucking asshole. I'm gonna do it. And that's why I love, you know what? I love people that will call me out on being a dick. And I was a dick today. Cosmic Christian called me out on it and said, you didn't do this and that. And he literally waved his big finger at me. He was like this. I'm so Sorry, Cosmic Grandpa. And then and then he forgave me. And that's why I love my producer.
Put up the comment he just did at the very end there.
Wait, where?
That,
Oh wait,
that's
no.
why
No,
he no
well, he gave
one
me
the
a
one above it, the one
spicy.
above it, the one above it.
Oh yeah.
That one. He's the almighty and famous Cos, the all powerful Cosmic Grandpa.
Carrie, by the way, Carrie, have you not been paying attention? I think I've now had like 32 ounces of an 8% disgusting IPA.
Why don't you find something you do prefer that's
Oh,
not
I
an
have them.
IPA?
I do have them.
Well, then why suffer through an IPA? I won't.
Well, because this is creative chaos, and I only take it this seriously.
Oh, please. Get some THC soda. You'll be just fine.
No, I think one time, and I think this may have been like 8 to 10 months ago, I did come in on a little bit of THC, and I went like this the whole show. And you carried it. It's why I have you here. It's for
Okay.
those moments.
For just those moments. Okay, got it.
No, more than those. Stop being offended, bros. I'm not your ex-wife.
Oh, I don't get offended. I just laugh at shit.
Anyway, we were doing
Conspiracy wheel. We spun it the third time, and where did we hit?
what were we even talking about? Oh, Federal Reserve.
Yes, the Federal Reserve. The elitists that control the Federal. Do you know that it's because of the creature from Jekyll Island, these 13 families, whatever you want to do, however you want to term them.
You mean the Jews?
I'm sorry, what? Killing the Jews?
No, I said you mean the Jews. And I had to say that because you're Jewish.
I know, you busted my balls. What else is new? You're always mean. You're being mean now. That's okay.
Yeah, I really am.
Okay, that's fine.
I had
so, they are the reason why the Titanic sank.
The Jews?
The creature from Jekyll Island. Those that didn't go along with the plan were the ones that were invited onto the Titanic, and the Titanic was sunk on purpose. And there's actually conspiracy theories that it's not really the Titanic 1 that went down, it's actually the twin sister, the Titanic 2, that went down. But these are all conspiracies you guys can look up. I'm just spitting it out there for you because that's what I remember.
I'm sorry, Bruce. I'm losing. I really am losing my shit. That was
I see that. I see that.
Are you angry at me? Please don't.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'll just turn off my camera.
No, and I'm gonna be angry at you if you do that. All right, you guys. I feel like I want to end on the awkward note.
The awkward note is that we haven't told everybody how they can find me.
Do it.
Thank you. All right, everybody. For those of you out there that love and enjoy my antics and want to see more of my stupidity, come find us on Sunday nights on 3 Beermen. That's the number 3, BEERMEN.TV. Yes, we are on digital television. You can find us on many of these platforms that are listed in that website. And now you can even find us on Roku. Yes, that's right. I said Roku, everybody. We have a Roku channel called Madness Entertainment Group.tv. And that is where you can find us on the Roku. So check us out. We go live 7 p.m. Big Apple time, 4 o'clock Avocado time on Sundays, every Sunday. And we always have an interesting topic where we talk about pop culture, talk about computers and technology, or we talk about beer. We always talk about beer anyway, but we always start the show talking about beer. But then we talk about other things, and we have interesting guests come on. And even though we talked about my buddy Digger Mesh, I don't think he's going to be on this weekend, but we're going to get Digger Mesh, Jesse's old roommate, on soon. But we will figure that out. In the meanwhile, Christy, where can they find you?
FlipCityMag.com.
No,
Flip
you're
City
also
Mag.
on with Blaylock. You're also on other shows. Talk about the other
I
shows too.
really am kind of all over the interzones. Which, by the way, to you and Cosmic Grandpa, you guys need to invite Flip City Magazine back on your show. It's been a while. We should do another live read.
What
on
are you
your
doing
show.
Sunday?
We'll talk about that backstage because I have so much respect and love for our dear Cosmic Grandpa, and look, and you as well. We'll
I
come
don't think
on
he
this
has.
Sunday.
That would be great because I don't think he or I have anything really like solidified yet. We haven't come down to a concrete answer. So,
Have us on.
Cosmic
We're gonna-
Grandpa, what do you say live here? Will you commit to having Christy on this Sunday?
Gonna bring the shit, cause, and if he leaves us
The
hanging
great
too
and wonderful
long,
Kaz, show yourself.
I'll let Christy take us out like she wants to, and we'll talk about it backstage.
oh, that was a hard no.
That was actually trying to help Christy, the host, get some semblance of control over the show after an hour and 55 minutes of complete
Did you
loss
not
of
realize
control
I
tonight.
have no fucking control, cause tonight? That's fine. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Creative Chaos tonight. I hope you had a good time. And if you want to check out the world's best satire magazine, that is at FlipCityMag.com. I don't know what you're showing, Bruce, but it's like taking away from my like you're ruining my thunder, sir. Anyway, FlipCityMag.com is where you get to find old school satire like Mad was, but made for today. And yeah, that's where you find it. Thank you for tuning in to Creative Chaos tonight. You can find us every Thursday night, tuning on whatever platform you tuned in to tonight. And thank you to the chat. Bye, guys.
Think positive and act like a proton.
I'm waving, Cosmic. Please kill the stream. I'm dying here.
Okay, class. List everything insensitive, exclusionary, bigoted, nationalistic, misogynistic, and offensive that you can find in history's great myths and legends. Extra points for suffering panic attacks or emotional outbursts. Fact check every opinion against the lived experience of your comrades and allies, so you can avoid forming a criminal opinion. Scrutinize it cover to cover. Wrongthink, misgendering, dead naming, misinformation, microaggressions. Leave no page unturned.